This is not a movie trailer. This is not CGI. This is China putting humanoid robots on live television in front of 1 billion people. And instead of dancing, they started to fight. In any other decade, you'd dismiss this as visual effects, but it's not. It's real hardware, real gravity, real risk, broadcast live during the biggest show of the year. On Lunar New Year, at the Spring Festival Gala, dozens of humanoid robots walked into China's brightest spotlight. Not as props, but as the main characters. No retakes, no simulation, just machines and a global audience watching every move. And here's the part the West should pay attention to. This isn't just a performance, it's a signal. A staged reminder of how far China's robot ecosystem has come and how confident it is, showing that progress to the entire world. Last year, Unitree Robotics turned heads by putting 16 H1 humanoid robots on that same stage, dancing a traditional routine in sync. It was charming, it went viral, and it felt like a milestone. But in 2026, Unitree came back and made that old performance look like a tutorial. This time, they brought their more compact G1 humanoids, and the choreography wasn't a gentle folk dance. It was martial arts. You see rows of G1s drop into fighting stances, then explode into motion, fast kicks, spinning transitions, staff strikes, nunchucks whipping under festival lights. The rhythm feels intentional, almost expressive. There's no toy-like stiffness, no awkward pauses. One movement bleeds into the next, like a stunt team that has been training together for years, except this stunt team runs on code and batteries. Then they push it further. Some robots sprint up vertical walls, push off, twist in midair, and land cleanly back in formation. If you saw it without context, you'd think you were watching human performers in robot suits. But the moment that really breaks your brain is when the style switches to drunken fist. If you know martial arts, you know how subtle that is. It's designed to look clumsy, unbalanced, almost drunk, while hiding razor-sharp control underneath. Now imagine teaching that to a machine. The robot has to wobble without falling, stumble without losing its center of mass, look off guard while constantly tracking balance and timing. When machines can fake drunkenness, they've mastered balance. You're not just watching robots move, you're watching them act, sell a character, embody a fighting style, turn chaos into choreography. And then Unitree plays a different card: symbolism. Their larger H2 humanoid appears dressed as the Monkey King, one of the most iconic trickster heroes in Chinese mythology, riding on top of a quadruped robot dog styled as his legendary Cloud. The H2 twirls a staff, performs a sword sequence, and offers blessing gestures to the crowd, even interacting with children on stage as if it were just another performer in the cast. Folklore, national pride, and cutting-edge robotics, all in a single scene. The message at home is clear. These machines aren't just tools, they're part of our story. But the most revealing part of this whole spectacle happens off stage. Unitree released rehearsal footage from their training facility, and what you see there looks less like a show and more like a swarm test. A huge hall, the floor covered in a grid. Dozens of G1 robots stand in formation, aligning themselves before any dramatic moves begin. Each unit is essentially asking, where am I? Where are the others? How much space do I have? That grid isn't there to look futuristic. It's there because you're about to send a crowd of autonomous machines into high-speed routines, inches away from each other, and collisions are not an option. This isn't about one impressive robot. It's about many acting as one system. And then there's the shot that says everything. Unitree's founder stands between two G1 robots. Open floor, no cage, no glass barrier, no one rushing to shield him. Suddenly, both robots launch into backflips right beside him. Metal frames spin through the air, then slam back down into solid landings. He doesn't even flinch. He just stands there, like this is another day at the office. Think about how much has to go right for that to be boring to him. A humanoid backflip means calculating how hard to jump, how far to lean, how fast to rotate, and how to stick the landing, all in fractions of 1 second. If that timing slips, the robot eats the floor. If it really slips, it eats the human in the middle. That calm posture isn't recklessness. It's proof of how far they trust their own system. And here's where the conflict sharpens. To the casual viewer, this is a cool festival act. To anyone in a robotics lab in Europe or the US, it's a quiet challenge. This is our comfort zone. Where's yours? 1 year ago, the big headline was, 16 robots can dance in sync. Impressive, but the moves were slow and safe. Now the headline is, dozens of robots are doing martial arts with weapons, wall runs and flips, right next to humans. with nobody visibly steering them. They're not just executing commands anymore. They're sharing space with humans under pressure, under lights, under massive public scrutiny. Now, change scenes. While Unitree is owning the TV moment, another Chinese player is showing a different side of the same story, Agibot and its Expedition A3 Humanoid. In Agibot's demo clips, there are no costumes, no lanterns, no mythological framing, just a bare training room and a robot moving in a way that makes even fighters raise an eyebrow. The A3 throws continuous mid-air side kicks, side flips where its feet barely skim the floor, and full backflips that snap from takeoff to landing in what feels like 0.5 seconds. At one point, it fires a rapid combo of kicks toward a human partner. The human actually steps back, like he's dodging real strikes. That reaction isn't scripted, it's instinct. You can nerd out about sensors and algorithms, but emotionally the takeaway is simpler. Here's a machine moving with a level of power and commitment most people would be scared to copy. The A3 stands at human height, built for reach, stability, and aggression. It doesn't just replay a recorded animation, it adjusts as it moves, reacting to the floor, to its own momentum, to tiny changes in position. This isn't animation, this is a machine making split-second decisions mid-air. Now put these threads together. On one side, robots wrapped in culture, Kung Fu, Monkey King, national television. On the other, stripped-back training footage of a robot that kicks like it means it. Both point in the same direction. Humanoid robots are stepping out of the lab and into public life, as performers, as symbols, and soon as workers. And in the background, China has been very blunt about its intention. It wants to lead the global humanoid robotics race within the next few years. That's not a vague dream. That's written into strategy. So when you see these machines on the Spring Festival stage, it's not just for domestic hype. It's also a subtle broadcast outward. This is what we're already comfortable showing you. Imagine what we're not showing yet. For viewers in the West, it raises a few uncomfortable questions. If this is the polished, public-friendly version, what do the internal prototypes look like? If this is 2026, what does normal look like in 2030? The scariest part? This is the worst they'll ever be. From here, everything gets faster, smoother, cheaper, and more widely deployed. Today, a backflipping Kung Fu robot is a viral clip in your feed. Tomorrow, something like it might be stacking shelves, patrolling a site, or working night shifts you never see. Once you've watched a robot flip and fight on live TV without wiping out, seeing a similar machine carry boxes or climb scaffolding doesn't feel like science fiction. It feels like an overdue product rollout. That's the real shift happening. The line between robot as spectacle and robot as infrastructure is starting to blur. The stage is just the first place we're being trained to accept them. For China, putting these robots under festival lights is both a flex and a rehearsal. For everyone else, it's a preview, a kind of public beta of a future where these machines are no longer rare, just part of the background. So the next time you scroll past a clip of humanoid robots doing drunken fist, wall runs, and sword routines, you can laugh, be impressed, or roll your eyes, but you probably shouldn't be asking, is this real, anymore. The better question is, how long until moments like this stop being the main event and start being just another normal thing happening in the corner of your screen?